Welcome to Confirmation Bias, presented by the League Ambassadors.
I'm Ambassador Kenny Ken, and if you love a good rags to riches story, you got to check out Max Muncy of the Los Angeles Dodgers. And that's my confirmation bias.
I'm Red O, and New York Giant AJ Francis has no one to blame but himself. There are 4 words he needs to learn. 2 are opting out, and the other 2 are carry on. And that's my confirmation bias.
I'm Ambassador Junior Blue, and this whole LaShawn McCoy situation is very shady. If it's false, Miss D. Corden's shady, and if it's not, LaShawn McCoy's shady and his career is over. And that's my confirmation bias.
I'm Ambassador Dad, and je vais faire 100 pommes dimanche. Translation, I will be doing 100 push-ups on Sunday. That is my confirmation bias.
And I'm Ambassador Chef Curry. If the 5 of us were trapped in a cave for 2 weeks, I think we can all agree that we would eat Kenyon first. And that's my confirmation bias.
Welcome to Confirmation Bias. This is episode 61 of our vodcast. As a reminder, you can follow us everywhere on social media. Our handle is @TheLeagueAM. That is Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, please check out our website, theleagueam.com. Our on-site blogspot diplomatic community, the place where fans of all shapes, colors, sizes can make submissions, and we'll post it on the website. Also, please check out our YouTube channel and subscribe, League Ambassadors. We've got a great show today. You've heard a lot of laughing in the background because Kevin is an asshole, and also because we've got special guests. We've got Miss Eira Schwyzer and Miss Wendy Rosenthal of the Distillery Inc. With us, and we'll talk more about what they do in a little bit. But basically, the Distillery Inc., they work with athletes to help them figure out basically what they want to do after their career is done. They work with athletes, they work with universities, they work with owners of professional teams. So we're going to talk to them about, their business. They also have a wonderful webcast of which we were privileged to be a part of a couple of weeks ago, Distill It 360, which they will also have an opportunity to talk about as well. So we've got a good show. They're also just going to participate and be ambassadors as well. And so with that in mind, Junior Blue, what it do, sir?
Hey, we on the hot topics.
Yeah.
And the hottest topic today was the World Cup semifinal.
Mm-hmm.
Semifinal round. France versus Belgium. The two of the teams that our ambassadors had. Dev had France, and well,
Don't ask me to say that
Red.
again. Practice on the card all over there. That's as much French you gotta do.
I want to know, how long did you...
Just like 5 minutes.
Say not bad.
Google Translate.
Dev, I took 7 years of French. I don't know what the fuck.
I wrote it down in a way that I could say it without trying to read French.
Right.
Very phonetically for me.
Well, France knocked Belgium out, and tomorrow we know our guest Eira will be rooting for Croatia against England. That's one of her teams.
She got like 17
left. It's my only team left.
But they're in the semifinals.
And it will be sweet revenge because you know who took out Colombia, which was her main team, right? So,
well, hopefully Croatia gets it, and then it's Croatia versus France. And I know who Dev will be rooting for.
I'm doing 100 push-ups regardless of who wins.
So tomorrow,
That's true. Yeah. Devin's in for the 100 regardless.
Oh.
you want to up the ante?
Oh.
No.
He thought about that for a second.
If it starts you on a fitness
did.
trend, you could
So who do you guys have winning tomorrow? Croatia or England?
Ladies?
There is no other way.
You know she has.
And
There's
you
only
understand
one team winning tomorrow.
And you understand if I had a different opinion.
It
Remember
doesn't
we
matter.
talked about in the lobby? She knows how to
Right.
disarm people.
Yes,
She-
exactly.
Yes.
She's a boxer.
Tomorrow, Croatia is going to win.
But you
Yes,
spent 10
it
years.
is.
You did. You spent 10 years in the UK.
I did.
She did.
I
And
did.
But you...
Like I said, if you put me over there, I might have
Might
said
have a
something
different
different.
answer.
No, listen, in all honesty, because I know she won't really hurt me, maybe. No, listen, I love England, and it's hard for me because I'm very loyal to my business partner or my good friend, and I did not commit to rooting for Croatia. I did commit to rooting for Colombia, and they got knocked out.
She did.
And, I think that England has the best shot it's had in a really long time. I will say that it's the first time I've seen a team an England team that's as unified as this England team has been. Does that mean it's going to be enough to get past Croatia? I don't know. I honestly don't know, but I think in the scheme of their World Cup, history in the last several World Cups, they're doing better than they ever have.
Yeah.
Particularly because they're unified.
I think that Croatia is the better team, but I'm curious to know why England is the betting favorite. Let's get down to brass tacks, as Omar likes to talk about. Vegas has them at minus 150. Croatia's at plus 130. How is that?
I think it's because Croatia, and I'm curious to get your thoughts on it, Eira. They've played about 240 minutes of soccer in the last week. They've
Right.
gone into penalty
Yep.
with both their last two wins against Japan and also against Russia. They are an older team. Fatigue definitely will play a factor. I would feel pretty strongly that has something to do with it, along with the fact that they've got the name recognition. Harry Kane is been playing very good in the tournament.
Right.
How do you feel though
Well,
about?
and that's where you start to really consider something like youth, and fitness levels versus something like experience. Because again, yes, Croatia is full of a lot of older players, but there's experience and wisdom that comes with that.
Right.
And when you see their last two matches and what they went through, to be in that mindset and persevere, I think is a huge advantage.
I actually don't think it's going to be easy for England, despite what any of the bookies say. It doesn't matter. I think it's going to be,
Well, and
even if
they're-
they win, it's going to be a
And they
very
aren't going
tough
to have
battle.
Mark Geiger reffing the game this time.
Yeah, listen.
They're gonna have to
I'm not
work
going to disagree.
Wow.
I'm
That's
not
the
going to.
first time a ref for soccer has been mentioned.
But he
Ever.
wasn't there for the Sweden game. He was not
I'm
there
just
for the
saying,
match.
England's going to have to work hard to earn this game.
They are. There's no question.
Well, I definitely think
and I
that-
would expect nothing less.
Well,
Sorry.
if Croatia could beat Russia and Putin in Russia, and if you look at the route that England has taken, I mean, in the group, they played Panama. They beat them 6-1. Tanzania 2-1. And then they lost to Belgium by a lot,
Right.
which Belgium is probably the best team left.
Well,
So
not
I-
anymore.
Well,
now that you're
Viva
going to
la
have to be
France.
doing
but I mean, I guess they must be looking at the youth because I don't see it any other way.
Right.
No,
and there's
I
a lot to be
agree.
said for that. I mean, they're young, they're talented, they've got a whole lot of energy coming into this.
Well, they have a whole lot of energy,
it
and
means
for
a
the
lot.
first time, they have a coach that actually has found a way to make them a unified team. I'm going to say it
Absolutely.
again.
Absolutely.
England's biggest problem, whole time along, last few World Cups, is that they have a group of big egos
Yeah.
playing with each other, who play against each other constantly, and have never found a coach who is able to bring all those personalities together to help them to win. And this is the first time I've seen it in all the years I've been watching the World Cup. So they stand a chance.
Who do you think is going to hold the trophy on Sunday?
Oh,
I mean, I know.
Does it make a
Honestly.
difference? Does it make a difference who wins? So if Croatia wins, do they beat France? Or if England wins, do they beat France?
Yeah.
Either one.
Or is
yeah.
France the best team?
The better game is Croatia, France. The better game.
You think the better game? See, I think
But who do you
it's
think
England.
wins?
I think it's England, France. I mean, France. Listen, I was impressed by their defense today. They were their speed.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas.
Mbappe.
Yeah, Mbappe. I call him Isaiah Thomas because that's exactly what he looks like. Is fast, but
Yeah.
just their team speed. You could tell it really bothered Belgium. And they did a good
Thank
job.
the Lord.
They did a really good job
It's definitely speed.
of not giving Belgium opportunities to counter. And I mean, I was really impressed with that. At the same time, they are a young team.
Right.
They've also been known historically to, when the moments get big, to not rise to the occasion. So I would think that it's a more interesting game if it's France versus England. I think Croatia, though, would be a problem for France.
That's what I'm saying.
On
The
Sunday.
game, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they were so fast today. They had to take Fellaini, a.k.a. Colin Kaepernick, out.
Yeah.
Like, they had to get faster players because
You had
Mbappe.
Canelo in that game. You had Kaepernick in that game. You had Isaiah Thomas. Yeah. What do you think about the game on Sunday?
Look, I'm telling you, I really, aside from the fact that I love them and I want them to win, I just see so much experience there. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. And I think that they have the mindset to be able to do what needs to be done. I see it Croatia against France.
A lot to be said.
And
for winning.
you see Croatia winning. I see Croatia winning. I see it. Yeah.
So let's stay overseas. And we have Wimbledon going on right now.
Yes, we
Yes.
do.
We're in the women are in their semifinals. You have Serena versus Gorgeous. There you go. Ostapenko versus Kerber. There's no top 10 seeds remaining.
Yes, there is.
I mean, Serena.
Well,
Serena.
I mean, come on.
So
Who the hell did that?
It's disrespectful.
I mean,
Is what
it's
it is.
totally-
Technically.
no top. So
Yeah.
is it Serena's to lose? This will be her 24th. And will it be the sweetest coming back after having the baby? Actually pulling out of the last tournament, the last Grand Slam. Will this be her sweetest one?
It would be the sweetest one. The thing is, she's winning without playing her best, and if one of these, whoever wins out of Ostapenko and Kerber, if they're playing on their A game, they will beat her. If she wins, I mean, because she is winning just out of sheer will.
Right.
But her will is very,
that-
very
Yes.
strong.
It is. And again, it goes back to that mindset. It
Yeah.
is phenomenal to see what she does.
Yeah, and go ahead.
I was just gonna say I agree. I was watching her earlier today. She struggled with, I believe her name was Giorgio, the woman she faced. A lot of people predicted she was gonna have some struggles, and she came back. But I think that, like you mentioned, the highest seed left is an 11. I think it's Kerber.
Yep.
I think this is her tournament to lose simply because, of the talent that she's facing and the fact that she's overcome all of that to get to this point. Like you said, her sheer will. Y'all know I don't pick against Serena.
I will say this. I will say this. If you have ever had the pleasure of watching your child born,
Yep.
the fact that she is out here and she's in the semifinals,
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how freaking amazing
Yep.
what she is doing is. This is biblical. Because I watched my child. Like, there's no way in the world she should be out there competing at the level she's competing. She's freaking amazing, and she's one of the best athletes that ever lived on this planet.
You know, I got to tell you something. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that, she's coming back after having a baby like it's a major thing. And it is. There is no question. But she's an elite athlete whose
Right.
body before she had the baby was phenomenal. And I think her drive is not to necessarily prove to people that you can come back at that level after having a baby physically. That emotion of having a baby, of winning and being able to stand there with your child, that is probably what will drive her way more than anything that has to do with her physical abilities at this
And
point.
what is she, 36, 37?
Yeah. I think what's interesting also is, particularly in individual sports, what you have to really appreciate about what she has been able to do throughout her entire career is that when you're at the top of your game, and this goes back to the point of the fact that there are no top 10 seats left on the women's side, is that when you are at the top of your game and you're having success, to be able to withstand all challengers on a consistent basis says something for greatness, right? And the fact that, she's been gone. We've had different tennis players be in that top 10 level, but they've not been able to sustain. There hasn't been a challenger to really emerge. That level
There's
of
no
consistency.
Nadal to her Federer.
Yeah,
Nope. Yeah.
exactly. It's remarkable. We had this question on our show, and I quickly want to ask you guys, because we talked about the fact that because she hadn't played tennis was the reason why she was seeded 25th. Do you guys have an issue with that, or is it understandable because it's really based on the fact that she just hadn't played, she hadn't been active?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think it's practical. It's just about the numbers. It's about, are you playing on the numbers, reflecting that. I think it's practical. I get the concern. I get the issue on the whole thing, but I think it makes sense to me.
I agree that it's technically fine and okay, whatever, but it's so stupid. You know, like when everybody's going, there's nobody from the top 10 left. You're like, come on, are you kidding me?
It was
I mean,
a lot
it's just stupid. Why even talk about it?
It was a lot of hope, is what it was, that she would earn that ranking, and she hasn't.
On the men's side, we have the usual characters.
Usual
right. You know, Federer, Djokovic, Nadal. Is Nadal and Federer headed for another matchup?
I don't
know.
Joker kind of came on.
I mean,
I don't know.
Federer will see him in the semifinals.
No, Federer's on the easy side of the bracket.
Okay.
He's
He's
got
got Joker.
Yeah.
Joker. If Nadal wins, he's got Joker. But Nadal's got a tough matchup against Del Potro. Juan Del Potro is nice and he's healthy. He's one of those players that, you know, he's had injuries, but whenever he's been healthy, particularly on grass with the way that he plays, he's a formidable challenge. And Nadal hasn't faced anyone. He hasn't dropped a set, but he hasn't faced anyone up until this point. So now instantly the level.
Grass is not his exactly.
So wait, let's say this one point again. He hasn't dropped a set. Like, he's playing.
He's doing as good as anybody can.
I mean, he's definitely beating the guys in front of him, and he's beating them handily. But now the competition goes up drastically, and I think there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
And I think this is why we tune in to watch men's tennis, is because we want to see these titans clash. You want to see. I wish Murray was competing in his tournament just because of, you know, it's his home court. But I want to see Nadal and Joker go at it because they have a history. But at the end of the day, if Nadal can get by and face Federer again, their classics at Wimbledon always, you know, last multiple sets, hour-long matches. So
I want to see that.
And to be honest, at the end of the day, this would probably be one of the last times that they would be in that position, given their age.
Right.
Honestly.
I mean, we said that 10 years ago when they went.
Federer ain't slowing down for nobody.
No, maybe not Federer, but Nadal has had to work it out.
Yeah.
He has not played that well.
But, you know, he takes off the grass tournaments, except for this one, so he can, you know.
Yeah.
Right. And I told y'all, the way Federer plays, he's going to last longer than people think, because
I agree.
He uses an economy of movement that allows him to get places without using as much effort as other players.
Right. I literally remember 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, sitting with a friend of mine who's a huge Federer fan, and she was like, he's done. He's done. This is his last big win. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
All right, so we're moving on to Black versus Blue. We kind of got away from that segment because it was just so juicy, so good to talk about that stuff. But we're going to try to make it up here. So this is our antonym segment that we normally, you know, ask a question and we go around the board and kind of see where we stand with that particular question.
This is where people are usually looking at me.
Yeah. But we kind of mix it up today. So the first part of that Black versus Blue, the question is newsworthy or nothing to see here. But the question we want to ask you guys as our guests is, how did you fall in love with sports?
I think I remember watching my parents watch sports. I mean, I started playing when I was very little. I mean, I was playing soccer by 3, and I've been playing sports my whole life. But I think I remember just, it was watching the people around me love watching sports, that I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of. Whether or not I played, I knew that I knew that I was in love with sports, and I would always be a part of it somehow. And I love playing sports, but I love watching people play.
So both of your parents were into sports?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
So my love of sports came from my dad. And when I was a little kid, I used to sit with him and watch football games, and he was a bettor. He was really good at it. Let me tell you.
My man.
I kid you not. He had the first ATM I was ever exposed to was his inside coat pocket, where there would be wads of cash that the bookies would come. This is in the day when they come to your house.
The guap.
And they'd bring you the money, or they would take it.
Jimmy the
Green. No, he has a gift. He has a gift. And no, but because of that, you know, he would like to sit and watch the game. It makes it interesting.
That's for sure.
Daddy needed a new pair of shoes, literally.
Thankfully, he could afford it regardless, but at the end of the day, you know, it was like a total
riding on these
it was
games.
a total game. But, you know, to sit there and, you know, I just to be exposed to it, and then to hear him talk about what was going on the field and how this play was going to affect the outcome. And sometimes it was affecting an outcome of a bet.
Right. He talked to the TV a lot.
Yeah.
Didn't he?
Aside from that, let's be
lot.
honest. Were you his good luck charm? Is that why?
I like to believe I was his good luck charm in everything in his life. No, but that was really because I like the analytics too. I love like figuring it out. You know, sports to me has like that element of strategy, which I absolutely adore. So just being able to not only see the amazing athleticism and what elite athletes can do and how it all intertwines with being on a team and all of that, just the strategy that goes into every sport. It doesn't matter what. I mean, you know, she'll laugh at me when I say this, but even golf, you know, there's so much strategy in what you're doing, and that's what I love. So it was really watching my dad love sports and talk about the strategy of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And bet his savings on it.
He never bet his savings, and he always won.
Only the checking.
Like I said, that was my ATM for a while, although I'm embarrassed to say that now.
Well, I have hit a flop. So distilling and repurposing athletic intelligence, is that a purposeful endeavor?
We certainly
We
hope
hope
so.
If not, our
We
livelihood
have
is
a
going
lot
down
riding
the
on it.
drain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, in all honesty, yes, of course we think so. Of course.
Well, how successful are you guys in getting athletes to redistribute that focus from, of course, their current career to then when they retire, knowing that, you know, their career is going to come to an end at some point?
It's interesting. We have the clients that we work with who have been fortunate enough to have someone bring this to their attention early on are already in that space. They're doing that kind of work. They may not have all the specifics laid out just yet, but I think of like a Kobe Bryant, who we know at 17 had someone say to him, start thinking, you know, because even if you can last and remain injury-free, you've got to start thinking this is not going to last.
Yeah, you see that coming into play with guys like LeBron and even Steph Curry. Now, Devin had shared with us something that he was doing with rapper Nipsey Hussle, just something off the court to produce some type of production and media that shows that they are something outside of just athletes, like they can cross culture.
And I think it's so important to do something like that because I think, you know, unfortunately, we get a lot of clients come our way when they're already in trouble. They're battling that mindset. They've gone through an identity crisis. They can't figure out who they are now, that they don't have the game, that they don't have that routine of being told where to go and what time to show up and how to eat and how to train and how to think. And so by the time they've gotten, you know, to us, they've maybe lost a lot of money. They've gone through a huge mindset shift and they're at a loss.
And what they don't realize is that everything it takes to become an elite athlete, regardless of whether you go pro or not, equips you with such amazing skill sets that people out in the real world like us who just go to work every day wish we had. And they don't understand how to translate that and repurpose it and say, okay, now this is what I'm going to do now. And I'm going to take everything that I've learned, everything that I have in my nature, which got me up here to do this again and get up here in this other field. And it's very few and far between, unfortunately. And, you know, you hear the athletes that do. Magic Johnson, you know, Kobe Bryant. Like, the list is very long. You know, they become sports presenters or businessmen. But it's not the norm. And it's also more likely if there's a lot of money, you know, up front. So they have something to fall back on. But you're talking about a ton of elite athletes that are in that bracket of I make $2 million a year, I make, you know, $5 million a year. That goes really fast, especially when you're out of the game by say 30 or 35
I make
years
a
old.
lot, but I spend a lot also.
Right.
I spend a lot, and there's agents, and there's family, and there's, you know, all the things that you want to do when you make a lot of money, and there's no fault in that.
Instagram
you know?
thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, because not every athlete obviously has the personality to make that transition. So would you say that getting them to refocus is your biggest challenge, or is it something else?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is getting them to move away from focusing on just making money. Because, you know, while we see the athletes talking about these mega multi-million-dollar contracts and endorsements, at the end of the day, at least from all the work we've done, the money isn't what's making them happy. It's being able to know that the gifts that they have been born with, honed, developed, used properly are bringing them a quality of life. Now, for a long time, it's been all about sports, but those same skill sets are going to be able to bring them quality of life in other areas of their lives. So the biggest challenge isn't getting them to see that they have that. It's helping them focus on something beyond just making big money and making big money fast.
And not being disappointed. And the other big challenge, I think, is that one thing sports gives athletes is seriously quick, instant gratification in terms of feedback.
Right.
So we had one college athlete who said, look, I'm not even the star player on my team, but I run out on the field in a stadium of 90,000 people cheering. And they may not be cheering for me, but they're cheering. And it's
Right.
for me
It's a
because
rush.
I'm part of the team. And that rush, that amazing feeling of being in the center of attention and having that applause and having it's very hard to come off of. It's a big letdown.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge though to help them see that they don't need it or they can get it in different ways.
Yep.
All right, the last one I got is hope versus hype, hope or hype. So you guys have a show called a webcast called Distillery 360. So how does the show enhance your business, and what do you hope to accomplish with the webcast?
So often, even though we stress, we're not money managers. We're not financial analysts. We're not here to be your business managers. So much of the time, the focus always comes back to money. And I think that one of the great things our show does for us is to humanize our clients, is to be able to help our clients be seen as not just athletes that we adulate or crucify when they don't perform the way that we want them to, but that at the end of the day, they're human. And so our show allows us to be able to use it as a platform to show people sports as a metaphor for life. So, if you can stop and think about all the various things that you're going through, and then imagine an athlete who's performing on a global stage and having to sort of, not just work and figure out all those kinks on the court, on live TV with tons of fans watching, but to have their personal lives, also something that's affecting their play, it's affecting their game, it's affecting their performance or work performance. So I think it allows us to humanize sports in a way that isn't.
Yeah, I think we come at it from a different perspective because also we love sports and we love to analyze it, but there's so much going on around sports every day, and it's at every level. And so one of the benefits, I think, is we get the opportunity to show people that it doesn't matter if you're like me, as a mom that's working, that goes out and runs by herself. I'm still an athlete. I can still have those attributes. Sports can be very meaningful in my life and can help me actually through things, And so for us showing sports in that 360-degree view, right? Not just from it's analyzing the game or it's talking about the players, which is so much fun and we love it and we think there's a lot of value to it. It's just trying to bring a different perspective and it shows people and our clients who we are.
I just knew I was going to hear emotional intelligence at least once.
We did it. We're coming for you. We're going to have you tested. We're going to have you
Fail.
tested.
It's time for Is You With It or Not, our debate segment, and we're definitely looking forward to this because we're going to have our guest to be the combatants.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Eira versus Wendy. This week, it was announced that Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson are planning a $10 million heads-up match, which I'm all here for. And so the debate topic for the ladies is, would one-on-one matchups like this bring more energy and attention to the game of golf? So, as we always do, we're going to first have a coin flip. Dad's got the coin. Wendy, call it in the air, heads or tails?
Heads.
It is tails.
It is tails. Eira, which side of the argument do you want to be on? Will one-on-one
I know which
matchups
one.
bring more energy and attention to the game of golf? Yes or no?
Yes or no? Will it? Yes.
Yes. Okay, Wendy, do you want to go first or second?
I would happily go second. I want to hear what she has to say.
She knows the drill.
Okay, so we're going to start some underground music. Whenever you start talking, I'm going to start timing. You have 2 minutes.
Oh, I do. I have 2 minutes to talk.
2 minutes.
I might not even need 2 minutes. First of all, it's golf. I didn't realize that we're worried about having to attract a bigger audience. But look, it's $10 million. And I think anytime you have that kind of money on the line, it brings in an audience. I just, it's a great format. It's going to attract the people who
Stop
care.
reading my notes.
It's going to attract the people who care about coming in to see people fight for money, even though it's not going to be their own money on the table. And it's a quick format. It gets people who are young and, sort of not really excited about golf coming in to pay attention to something that might not be their first choice sport to pay attention to. So I think all around it wins.
All right. Wendy, you ready?
I am ready.
All right.
Okay, first of all, I want to say, since I have some extra time, since Eira doesn't like golf.
You do not.
And she loves golf. She loves golf. She'll talk on.
I'll talk for
On and on
hours
about it.
about golf. I would like to say that there are reasons not to do this. First of all, I think that if this is going to be a format where it's just going to be the old, old players. Sorry, Tiger, you're getting old, dude. And Phil, you're really getting old. If it's the old guys and it's not the new guys in the format, it's not going to work because it'll work once, but it's not going to work as an ongoing thing. Because at the end of the day, if they're trying to attract a new audience, they need to have the young guys in it, okay? The second thing I have is if they're not going to put in some real drama, I mean, come on, right? It's not either of the players $10 million on the line. It's not like they're adding some new element or twist into this.
It's not Mayweather versus McGregor.
It's not Mayweather versus McGregor.
Neither was Mayweather versus McGregor.
Yeah, exactly. There's no twist. Where is Stephen Curry in this? There's nothing that really that's going to really draw people in the long term. So I feel like that's another big issue that they're going to have. And
I love you and your notes.
Thank you.
You've come very prepared.
Thank you.
This is a timed event.
She read off of my notes. Okay. And then finally, you know what? People can see through this. This isn't like Phil and Tiger are sitting there like, I hate you, man. Let's just take it out and get on the course and duke it out into the end. They know they're buddies, right? They know they respect each other. Where's the tension? And I think a lot of people will look at this and say, hey, you know what? Two rich guys getting richer, yada, 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 don't care. That's it.
All right. Well, that was definitely the most different debate. And if I had to wager which one of us would interrupt their debate, all my money was on Omar.
Not them.
Right.
We interrupt each other
He
all
saw
the
his
time.
green light, though.
Yeah, he did. Okay, so we're going to go around with the
Were we
ambassadors.
supposed to actually yell and scream at each
I
other?
can't
No, what was
I wish
interesting?
our debates were that friendly though, because
Yes.
I'm mad for at least 2 days until we
real.
get to the next show.
Yeah, and he would be really mad if whoever he was debating against interrupted him while he was making his debate. With that being said, Kevin, who confirmed your bias? We'll go around the room.
You know what? You poked a lot of holes in this theory, but I'm an optimist here, and I think I'll go with the fact that this may work for the average golfing fan. This may work.
That's one for Eira. Omar.
I just can't do it for 25 seconds. She
That's
poked.
all I need, straight to the point.
She poked enough holes. I'm going with Wendy. I'm sorry.
All right, Junior Blue.
I would watch it. I mean, Tiger brings fans automatically. 10 million on the line. I'm gonna watch it. So, Eira, I got. Yeah.
You are all
Dad.
predisposed.
Yeah.
Hey,
my confirmation was.
have we confirmed that it's not their money because both
It's not
of them?
right now.
It's not.
The way Tiger was talking, Tiger made it seem like he was like, if it's something that makes him a little uncomfortable.
To me, if it's not their money, it's not as interesting
not
to me.
their
It's not their money.
Guys, it's not going to be their money.
If it's not their money, then know what? Fuck it, I still will watch it. Bring some excitement.
Hey, and you bailed me out. I don't have to make a decision. It's 3-1. Eira won the debate.
Excuse me.
Just for the record, that was my side. I gave her that, but I think this whole thing is ridiculous. That was my side. We were complete switch sides.
No. Listen, I'm watching it. I don't care. I am not watching
this.
Well, that's the point of the debate.
She picked, yes. No, but there's so many other issues around it. It's really super interesting. But I think that for sure they have an opportunity to bring a lot of viewers back to golf or to golf in the first place. I think if they're smart about it.
Yeah.
If this ends up just being like, the Tiger Mickelson show.
They need fun undercards.
They need fun undercards.
They do.
I was just thinking that if the production around this is right, like if they mic them up, like if they have
They
like
will.
celebrities in attendance, depending on, did they decide the location?
Vegas.
It's Vegas.
Of course, it's Vegas.
There-
It's Phil Mickelson.
Come on now.
There needs to be
Wages
some.
put on this?
There needs to be some Mario Kart type shells
Yeah,
popping
but
up.
they're gonna mic it and it's gonna be fine, but it's gonna be
Pay-per-view
scripted,
event.
guys. Like they know it's mic. They're gonna say stuff. They're gonna talk trash, and it's gonna be like
I
stupid
just
talk
want
trash.
Tiger to say the N word once. I can die happy.
And on that note, we will get out of here fast. Once again, golf clap for the ladies, both Eira and
Thank
Wendy.
you guys so
Thank
much
you
for
so
having
much.
us. It was awesome.
Yeah,
Where
thank
can
you
we
for
see
being
them
on
again?
Yes, where can we? Yes, to let the people know how can they view your show, the Distill 360.
www.thedistilleryinc.com has a tab for our show and it has links to all of our previous broadcasts.
Okay, is it a live?
Yeah, it's live every other Tuesday at 3 o'clock Pacific time. We are on iTunes. We are on Spotify. We are on iHeartRadio, CastBox, Stitcher, YouTube, all of the familiar social media spots.
Junior Blue, was you gonna say something? No. All right.
Hey, R.I.P. Billy Knight. Let's say that.
Yeah. All right, we will see you again. Follow us on social media. Our handle is at The League AM. Please check out our website, theleagueam.com. We'll see you. We'll see you on Thursday.
And that was all on camera.
He was gonna get some Lance Stevens today.
Pause.